Bro, I wasn't gonna make this video, but this fight's entertaining, so why not? Um, we got a good fight here. I wanted to make an easy prediction. Um, so we got Brandon Moreno versus Steve Erceg. So Brandon Moreno's coming off honestly a very good performance. He demolished Amir Albazi. All 5 rounds went to him. It was a clear 50-45. You might even count it a 50-44 if you wanted to be like that. And apart from that, he had two very close matches with Brandon Royval and Pantoja before that. And I just feel like those two fights were really close. And although in my opinion, I didn't think Moreno won either of those fights. I thought the closest one he had was with Pantoja, and even then I thought Pantoja actually deserved to win that. Um, he's on a 1 fight win streak, and this is a good fight for him to, bounce back, maybe even claim that title shot, maybe have a title eliminator with Manel Kape. But as much as I would say that maybe Steve Erceg is doing good too, he's not. Well, Steve Erceg, let's say, he had a good start to 2024, and then he didn't have that much of a good start after. He lost to Pantoja. It was a very close fight. I thought Pantoja won that 3-2. I thought it was 3 rounds to 2 that he won. And I don't know why people still say that Steve Erceg won that fight. He had good moments, but he didn't win the fight. And Kai Francie gets knocked out in the first round. Devastating loss. And now he's fighting short notice. This is 4 weeks short notice against Brandon Moreno in altitude. This is Mexico City. It's 7,000 feet above sea level. I mean, it's altitude. And, first off, we just have to talk about the fact that this is just, I would say it wouldn't be a mismatch, but it just doesn't make sense. Reyes, he loses to the number 4 guy, and now all of a sudden he gets the number 2 contender and a former champ. It just makes no sense. And I don't know what the UFC's original plan was to make Erceg fight Almabayev, which honestly I thought it would have been a good fight. And I thought it was a fight that was definitely deserving for Erceg, But they decided to make Kape, because Brandon Royval pulled out of the fight against Kape. Kape decided to fight Bayev, or decided to fight Moreno. And now I'm just in the crossroads, just thinking, why is this fight even being made? But although Erceg is kind of going on a Dominic Reyes type of run right now, I honestly think this is a good fight. I think this is going to be a scrap, Both of these guys are going to be striking. They're going to be banging. And, this is going to be a barn burner for sure. We got 2 banger fights in the main event. We got the co-main, Drew Dober versus Torres. That's a banger. And we got Moreno versus Erceg. That's really good fights. And if I were to go based off my prediction, I'm going to go with Moreno by decision. The reason is because I think for a 5-round fight, I think this really heavily favors Moreno. Moreno has the better preparation. He has fought in Mexico City before. And Erceg is doing this on short notice. He's doing this at altitude. And he's going against a guy who's coming off probably one of his best performances yet. And Moreno has a ton of momentum. Steve Erceg does not, but I'm not counting out Erceg. Erceg is a very good striker. He was actually very decent grappling, as we saw against Pantoja. And he was doing good against his fight against Kai France before he got knocked out. Kai France, he has that knockout power. So it just happens to the best of us. And I even say, before, in the Brandon Moreno versus Kai France fight, Kai France was actually kind of winning. He was winning a lot of exchanges, but Brandon Moreno was able to get that kick. And Kai France is a very good contender, so I honestly am not surprised. I thought Erceg didn't even deserve the first title shot anyway, so that's what it is. But I'm going to go with Brandon Moreno by decision. I think it's a very good pick, and it makes sense. He is a very huge favorite. He's a sizable favorite going into this fight, minus 265. And I just think Moreno just has the experience. He has the grappling, and honestly, I think he's just only getting better. After that Amir Abazi fight, I am very impressed with Moreno's kind of bounce back. You know, he took some time off, he improved his game, and I think we're seeing a new version of him. So I'm really excited to see this fight. But my opinion, I think Moreno is gonna win this. It's actually a good fight for him. You know, if he beats Steve Erceg in a convincing way, I think, you know, we could see him maybe getting a title shot. Maybe one more win after this, he might get a title shot. But for for a guy who already lost to Pantoja 3 times, you know, it's very hard for him to be deserving of a title shot or to convince Dana White to get another title shot, considering how much of a bad state the flyweight division is in, with not many exciting matches and just a bunch of rematches and shit. It's not a good state. So, in my opinion, I think this is a good flyweight fight. This is gonna be entertaining. I don't know why people hate on flyweight. I get it's just a smaller people fight. You know, you don't see knockouts of that caliber, but these are guys that will go out and put out banger fights. Like, this is a fight you would watch. You know, I thought the Kape Amabaya fight was very entertaining. You know, Brandon Royval versus Tyra fight was entertaining. I mean, flyweight main events, they always deliver. They always deliver. And I'm really convinced this is going to be a good one as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go Brandon Moreno by decision. Anyways, that's all. Bye.